Hello everyone and welcome to the Throwdown the Mountain 7 presented by Discraft. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, along with special guest Big Germ, Jeremy Koling, round number 3. First, here's a word from the PDGA.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
And here we are, Big Germ joining me. Thank you so much. We saw your action during the second round, but here we are for the third and final round, chase card. Hole number 1, Big Germ. What's the plan?
Hey guys, well yeah, the plan is just to throw a flick up the middle if you got it. It's super far at 360 feet, probably 40 feet in elevation change. You got to throw it at least 400 feet, I feel like, in power to get up the hill. But I don't think we're going to see forehands from Charlie or Johnny. Charlie's going with his Castoplast Falk, and he's actually one of the 3 players in the field to birdie the hole for the first 2 rounds.
Wow, so very dialed in on this one. It looks like that one's a little left. Not sure how aggressive he can be with it. Johnny, on the other hand, gets that one to turn over. Maybe short or maybe down the hill?
Yeah, I think it looks like he did the super turnover special. It's going to come up probably 50 feet short. Hit that tree there. And Simon's showing what happens when you take an overstable PD2 and don't put anhyzer. I don't even care if you're Simon Lizotte. You don't have enough power to throw that just pure hyzer. That's got to be released with the anhyzer angle.
And you parked it, absolutely parked it in Saturday's round, but this one looks pretty darn similar. What are you throwing there?
That's my Star Wraith. It's a new run of Star Wraith that's out right now that's just been like my favorite. I've been throwing it for all sorts of shots. Simon was out of bounds in the parking lot, which I didn't even know was a thing. And then you can see how rough this course is. Looking like, yeah, he's trying to determine if he's still out. He's got 60 feet from down the hill with foliage in the way to save a 4.
Yeah, and really risky there because, as you saw, he got basket high, and if you hit metal there, you could easily roll right back down one of these hills.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny's got his straddle lined up, probably from 50. Okay.
Kind of a safe
Thankfully.
run there. Yeah, exactly. If that's a little bit long, that can go down the backside of the hill. And good to see Charlie kind of swallow his pride there and just lay that one up. You know, he could have tried to go for the hero birdie there, but he's actually only 1 stroke back of the 3-way tie for second place happening on the league card. And chase for second place is really what this whole last round's about, as Macbeth has a 10-stroke lead on the field. So really needs to play well to try to jump up into second place, and that would be a great finish at this really difficult event.
We've seen many iterations of this course. It gets more and more challenging with every year that passes, and that's going to bring us to hole 2, a par 4. I've seen many approaches, including a thumber by you on Saturday, but what are they trying to do this time?
Well, yeah, these players are just going to be, we're all going to be trying to throw hyzers out the gap, unless your name is me, which I'm not going to try to throw the hyzer. I just want to get out this gap and not have to face the trouble that I was dealt with in the first round. It totally is a backhand driver. You've got to get out to the left if you want any shot at approaching this green. There's just so much foliage everywhere. I'm electing to go with a champion Roadrunner, and like I said, I just want to be out the gap, and I'm happy.
And I think that really speaks a lot of the comfort that you have with your forehand. You know, you really would love for this to have a hyzer finish for a righty backhand, but you're saying, no, I'm more comfortable. I'm going to throw a forehand, and I'm going to try and put it out there that way instead.
Yeah, it's just this low ceiling that kind of gets in my head a little bit. It's just kind of a trust issue. It's totally a backhand shot. Some days I'll step up here and I'll hit it no problem. Other days I'll throw it sideways, and I'd rather not throw it sideways during the tournament. So just kind of take that out of the play by throwing the sidearm. And we don't really see any good tee shots, unfortunately, on this hole, and that makes us almost unattackable from where these drives landed.
Yeah, you need to be out in the open, I feel like, if you're really going to try and go after the birdie. Now, McCray just kind of playing the numbers game. He's going to throw that up hard, throw it into the trees, and hopefully it crashes down and somehow finds, something of a putt. But he's short, and Simon's
Yeah.
can't quite fight up the hill either.
I think he might have been trying to make an adjustment from that underturned drive on one, and he put too much turn on that one. And that's a tough kick out there for Charlie. That's going to be a really difficult approach from back there. There's just so much in the way. You really have two specific gaps, and if you don't have that alleyway, it's going to be a lot of scrambling just to get your par.
And you've got a tough, not only are you back to the basket, which is tough enough, of course, you also then have your left leg above where your right one is, so you're off balance. Plenty of difficulty there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to contend with, and unfortunately it was unable to get past the gap. But Charlie with a nice shot there, able to get up there in the putting green, and nice shot there from Johnny as well.
You find a tiny gap and you navigate. That's all you need to do, right?
Yep, just punching away, and I was happy with a par on this hole. This is a really tricky one. Not many birdies on this hole. I think there were actually less birdies on this hole than there was on hole one. So I mean it's pretty tough. Only 16% of the field birdied the hole, which is only 11 players out of 75.
Of course, thanks to our friends over at UDisc for all of the stat keeping. This is the first time we've been here at the Grand Canyon course and had the UDisc available to everyone. So able to keep some great stats throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, when 11 players are birding it and 6 players are getting double bogey or worse, it kind of tells you that, a par is a pretty decent score to walk away with. You're not too upset.
We move over to hole number 3, and I think holes 3 and 2 had similar scoring spreads during the first two rounds. They both played over par and somewhat difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. I feel like hole 3 should be one of the easier par 3s in the course. I mean, par 4s on the course, just because it's a really short tee shot, very specific landing zone. But the approach shot shouldn't be too difficult. It's obviously way less in the way off the tee and on the approach than on hole 3. Or than on hole 2, excuse me.
Yeah, and you heard a little bit of a groan from the gallery, and you said that's not exactly the reassuring sound you love to hear once you've thrown a tee shot.
Yeah, exactly. You want to hear the claps from the gallery that's by the landing zone, not from the gallery that's by the tee, because their claps are appreciated, but not as valid as those that are up there looking.
And speaking of up there looking,
Yeah.
only Simon Lizotte can think about some of these routes, and you said he got some advice on that tee shot, and he didn't heed it?
No, he did not heed the advice from Mr. Macbeth, who said, that's stupid. But, who can tell Simon what he should and shouldn't do? Like, no one has the ability to throw the shots that he throws or to even come up with the lines that he sees. So, like, I think he should just be like, I'll do me, you do you. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Simon definitely plays a game of his own as we're watching the standstills. And again, you're dealing with uphill, awkward stance, and looks like you're off to this left side.
And there's the tree that I hit. I couldn't see that tree from my stance, but now that I'm seeing this shot, I'm seeing just how lucky I was, because that tree, if you hit the right side of that, the OB is only a couple meters away. That goes out of bounds almost 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, and we see a little frustration out of Simon here, which you don't see too often out on the course, but he had a really terrible second shot, and then he just kind of ran up and threw his third shot. I barely even caught it, and unfortunately it carried out over the barbed wire fence. So now he's pin high, looking at a putt for bogey.
And I hate to say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, but short putt for Johnny. Sometimes Simon's loss is as the spectators and the fans are gain, because he gets a little bit more antsy to go for those big high Simon shots.
Oh, absolutely correct on that one. As we watch Charlie, he let a few distracting cars get by him, and then he waited it out as he should and connected on the putt. And to speak to your point, though, yeah, when Simon gets a little flustered or sometimes doesn't have maybe the start or has a rough patch, that's when he says, all right, well, at least I'm going to make this fun and entertaining. And that can sometimes even dig him a deeper hole, or sometimes that can turn things around. So we'll see how this round goes.
I mean, he has the ability to do things that are just so creative and fun, and that's what he plays to entertain. He also wants to win, but this tournament isn't about winning at this point. Macbeth is just walking away. Right now, he's out there shooting course records every round. He wants to entertain. He wants to have fun, and for him, going for those crazy shots is his definition of fun.
Well, he does it better than pretty much anyone else out there. As we're moving on to hole 4, a little bit of a bonus if you can somehow get this one. Not many in the field will, I'm guessing, because we saw this play as like the 4th most difficult in the first 2 rounds.
Distractions.
Yeah, you have to throw, I'd say 450, 460 of power to get up that hill. I'm going with the Star Wraith just to trying to get up the fairway down the middle, and this is going to drift a little bit left, but should be in a somewhat decent spot.
Yeah, not too bad. It's really controlling the angle on this shot because you have such a low ceiling, and if it has too much hyzer at the end, you could move right up off the left side of that hill, and Johnny skips right up it instead.
Yeah, that's just almost picture perfect. Johnny needs another 20 feet, and he's parked. Simon throwing the same line, getting a little bit more of that hillside slide, but they're both 35, 40 feet or so.
Yeah, looking straight up the hill, and Charlie has a relatively routine approach. He makes good on that, and here you are, just a few feet off the side of the fairway, and you've got a little bit of everything to contend with there.
That's just how this course is, it's just, you could be pretty much right next to the fairway. You could even be on the fairway and have little trick shots all around the course like this, and I was just stymied there, so that was very fortunate to be able to lean out and throw it in, and that's a big putt from Johnny.
It is. And this is one of those dangerous ones. There's so many putts that are right on hillsides around here that if you don't connect, as Simon just does, great putt, if you don't connect, there's a really good chance this could roll away. A little spoiler from last October, so I don't think that's really a spoiler. Macbeth like 3 or 4 putted this hole, and the hill was not on his in his favor.
Yeah, well, we're not seeing that much of it. We're not seeing much of that from him this year, but
no, the only time he's taking 4 putts is on 4 separate holes these days.
Exactly.
Okay, we're gonna jump right over to. Looks like McCray is ready to go on the tee. He's a pretty quick player, and well, okay, maybe we'll go back now and actually give you here the whole preview. What are they trying to do now that we saw McCray do it?
Oh, this is one of the must-get par 3s in the course. It's one of the few holes that's actually averaging below par. So anytime a hole's averaging below par on this course, you're feeling like, okay, you got to take this one. It's just a fairway driver, a mid-range for some players. You just want to barely crest over this hill, and you can kind of even play this hole like a backstop. That tree right above the basket is a nice thing to aim for, honestly, because it's pretty thick and it'll catch the disc and drop it right underneath the basket.
So now we're back to the group as Simon. Oh, that's a pretty good looking shot.
Yeah, a little skip off the hillside. That'll be inside the circle. And anytime you see this blue disc from Charlie, this is his Falk, and he's throwing this on all sorts of angles, hyzer angles, straight, and anhyzer, and he's throwing it really well. I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good line. Just a little left, but he should be relatively close to the pin, and you're going with a backhand here.
Yeah, Champion Eagle. A really nice straight disc I've been throwing a lot lately, and there's that tree.
Wow, and that stopped it perfectly. You're no more than 10 feet from the pin.
That was almost a tree direction ace, which I'll take an ace any way I can get it, buddy. Get me on camera with an ace, please, one time. Johnny, that's the 3rd putt low we've seen this round through 5 holes.
Which is just so surprising. I mean, he's as consistent and as good as they get with a putter.
Yeah, and a lot of times we'll see that back foot kick up super high when he feels like maybe the putt was released a little bit low. Haven't seen that so far this round.
Charlie dealing with some sawgrass. He's kind of off balance, off to his left. Low-hanging branch, a downward slope.
Yeah, he's been looking at this putt for about every bit of a minute. And that's about as tricky of a 18-foot putt as you're really ever going to come across.
Yeah, it was very well played. In fact, you come up the hill here and see what you say. I think you're going to ask him a question or two.
Oh, yeah. I want to see what he was looking at. I mean, like I said, he was up there looking at this putt for a long time.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's awkward.
And I can appreciate a good putt when I see it. And Charlie's had a couple good putts where he's had to block out the distractions of the road behind the basket so far. So he's doing a good job on the green.
And we'll go over to hole 6. This used to be an ace run, much shorter, probably only about 250 feet straight down the hill. And now they've tucked it off to the left, put some hay bales there, so you can't just play for a skip. And this takes a little bit of power and finesse. I mean, it probably plays quite shorter than 375, but it's all about that placement.
Yeah, I somewhat disagree with those hay bales, but yeah, no one else is doing this.
No.
Nice job capturing that, by the way, Tabor.
Thank you. You get a little used to taking or following Lizotte lines from time to time. You got to be prepared for them at all times.
And oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't even have to skip over the hay bales. That's surprising. Very cool.
Yeah, I love catching this angle because just like with Simon on the first 2 rounds, he's like, yeah, we really have no idea how the discs get to where they do. And so being able to get this kind of mid-swing angle, I think it really provides a beautiful shot as Johnny goes just a bit deep.
Yeah, this is informative. I wish we...
From right here, it looks like it might need to come straight down, would be right there.
And I got to give a shout out
Thank you.
to the end zone...
Quick stick?
The quick stick, yeah.
Yeah.
These things are sweet, man. They're very handy, and it fits in my umbrella pocket in my disc golf bag. So those things are sweet. You should check those out.
I have had a conversation with Levon as he's developed those, and they are awesome. So if you're looking to get one, go out and get one. Tell him Big Germ and the disc golf guy sent you.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Charlie's just making putts like crazy right now.
What's
Again,
the fist pump counter at?
3 for 3.
Okay. So you know you're doing work when you got that many fist pumps going on.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny.
And that is off the top nubs. He's right on it, just not in it.
And rarely do we see kind of the, I mean, a straddle's one thing, but that was your, your short putt routine where you kind of just get up and throw, but then you did it from a straddle stance. I watched it 3 or 4 times. It didn't look any less awkward each time I watched it.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
All right, we'll leave it at that. We're going to move over to hole 7, awesome par 4, which is all about this placement. You need to find the fairway if you think you're going to attack the green on your second shot. The spotters are out there. Thanks to shout out to all of them. You want to land right about where we are right now at best, and then you have a little bit of a backstop. So we see some aggressive second shots hopefully coming into this little cove. And we saw a star frame on the opening round on Friday, and I think we saw 3 out of 4 on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd love to see a lefty just attack this with a huge anhyzer just to see how far it could get up there. That would be pretty cool.
And a mental note for next year, I want to go down and get the swing catch on this as well if I'm single camera, so that we can see exactly how far they're getting up the fairway. And great adjustment.
Thank you.
I think your caddy Kobe would appreciate that adjustment from Saturday's round.
Oh, yeah, I was playing the placement shot, and I said, you know what, this looks like a lot more fun. Let's just go for the big hyzer shot. And I think that was a bit influenced by Macbeth, who was just really good at those placement shots. And I like to throw that full speed. I don't like to throw those little 75% backhands, and I just don't have the same control. And a lot of these players are really good at that shot. I just want to do what these guys are doing, man. It looks like so much more fun. Just throw it.
And Charlie, thankfully we're standing where we are to be able to find that one. Charlie, a little short into the sawgrass. You got to take advantage of that backstop. Nobody should ever be short on this hole, as we just saw McCray with a really smooth backhand.
Yep.
And now you're kind of pinched up here, and you're playing the full flax.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think it was that good out of your hand?
I couldn't really tell if it was too high or not. I had to have the height to get to turn, but I wasn't sure. The high ceiling is pretty thick up there, so it was just going to be a matter of luck if it got through, and that time it did.
So Charlie with a look at it, and he's short. There's an anti-fist bump, a little clench.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was expecting to see another fist bump because he's just, when somebody's scrambling and grinding that hard as Charlie has so far, I mean, he's putting together a pretty good round so far. You just expect all of those to go in.
Yeah, I thought he had that one all day, actually, as well. And meanwhile, we see McCray and yourself in for birdies, and Simon's a little closer than Charlie was, but so he won't have that sawgrass to contend with.
He still has to contend with it, but he'll probably just straddle out to the side. I mean, if you can go one full round playing at the Grand Canyon course and not have sawgrass tear up your ankles a little bit, then your name's either Paul Macbeth or you just played the round of your life, because everyone else is going to be in that stuff at least 1 point in the round. It's everywhere.
All right, we move over to hole 8. We saw an ace run by Brandon on Saturday's round off the top of the basket and the skip. 345,
That was so cool.
dead straight. It can fall off to the right. If you get a terrible roll, you could maybe even find the OB, but I think we learned from the previous rounds, you just don't want to be long here. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, if you're long, this is probably the closest I've ever seen a tree or a branch to a basket. It's less than 7 or 8 inches away, so definitely want to avoid going long.
And you were no more than a foot off of your line there. Had that not hit the tree, it looked like it had great height and speed to carry all the way to the pin.
And Simon just a bit left with a nice reaction to the ground up there, just to let the disc nestle. And Johnny going super wide, but he'll have a putt, I think. And this is what you want to avoid. Left side's okay, but super left side's no good. The left side, you can get that counter skip to the basket, but...
Aggressive run, hits off the top. Here's Charlie.
Grinding. Just grinding. He told us afterwards that he was trying to lay that up, but
that was fun.
I told him, you never say that. You accept it and you live it.
Wow, what a shot. And that brings me to my next point. Looking to do a top 10. I'd like to know in the comments, as McCray's got a long jumper, I'd love to know in the comments at the end of this weekend, what do you think should be in the top 10? That'll also make you eligible for the disc giveaway. Whether it's any given shot from any of the people I featured all weekend from any of the 3 rounds. I'm going to assemble one, and we'll see how your top 10 shot lines up with what I put in the top 10. But that makes you eligible. So go out and put that in the comments. And McCray's
Are you calling this the Tear Bear top 10, the T-Dog top 10, or the Terry Miller top 10? That's my question.
Or the DG guy? Yeah, I don't know. Heck, put that in the comments as well. Germ, do you have an input on that?
I say you got to go Tear Bear or T-Dog, one of the two.
Okay. Well, here we are, hole number 9, 440 feet. This will be our final hole closing out the front 9. So I want to thank Big Germ for joining. And I think we even hear a little bit of a conversation. Yourself, Simon Lizotte. Simon's kind of pressing. He hasn't done anything magical yet, and all he cares about are picking up a few strokes and entertaining us. Here's what he had to say on the tee.
Craft it in? Oh yeah, because it's so open. We've both been over there. You know what's over there.
Yeah, I'm not throwing
It's
over
a
there. I'm throwing
wall.
over. So hyzering in the left.
It's just like Game of Thrones. No one's ever gotten over the wall
Or just
before.
this shot straight and have it just like glide.
Bring some more fame to the P2, dude.
Team Oregon, go Ducks. I don't know what that means, but I've heard it many times, so.
All right.
Gotta love it. I love that you capture this stuff. So he's going with the putter.
Yeah, no big deal.
440 feet, and it's looking perfect. Just catches the furthest out edge of that tree.
Nice try. That was a putter, y'all.
Yeah, did someone say Waco? Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
someone said Waco. Well, here's Charlie. And funny enough, Charlie didn't know that was a putter. He missed that conversation because he was zoned in with his headphones. So that was kind of funny. He for a while, didn't even believe it when we were moving down the fairway.
Kick right there.
And that was an absolutely horrible kick. He's right about that. And I'm actually trying to go for something a little bit different. I'm trying to go for the... just like a foot or two higher over that branch.
You don't think so?
What?
Why are you making that face?
Simon doesn't agree with you.
That is jealousy is what that is.
It is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And McCray, I love his line, but that also gets caught up.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see, 4 shots that all look pretty darn good, like really good lines, and all 4 of them are shot down.
Yeah, you really gotta keep it wide, or you have to really place that shot at the perfect height to go in between those branches. Each one of them sets up like a nice little shelf to just get over or under, but it's much easier said than done. And Johnny nestles that up, but Charlie's in a really weird place, and he has to go with his Berg, and that is gonna be like Walmart, folks.
Still coming back? Right there, Charlie. I know.
That's rolling back, rolling all the way back.
Rolling back the birdies or the prices. Also, super quick shout out. I want to thank JomezPro, not only out there. Oh!
Look at this guy. He's all over it. Every time.
Great shot. Trying to make work of it. Here you are.
This is a balancing act. I'm telling you, I'm a meter off the fairway, and I'm battling thorns and balance issues, which is my own problem.
You need to do more yoga.
I do yoga.
You need more.
I guess.
So Simon's got his look at birdie, and I wanted to say again, thanks to JomezPro for all of the drone previews. They graciously gave those to me for the weekend to help make my production look only 100th as good as theirs, but I appreciate it.
They're pretty good at what they do, huh?
They're amazing, and the drone previews really help out here. So you're still doing, now you're going to stretch out to the other side.
Speaking of yoga, this is a yoga pose I've never practiced before, but I wish I had, because this was very uncomfortable.
It looks like it. Okay, there you go.
What would you have done, Terry? That's what I want to know.
That's the funny part, and I will say this: no one has ever said, "Oh man, if I was only shorter." And yeah. All right. Well, these guys are going to close out. It's been a great front nine, Germ. I hope you can join us for the back. Charlie is going to have the little blemish here, but he's clearly all over the basket. And appreciate you guys joining us. Again, leave your favorite shot in the comments along with a like, as we're going to move on to the back nine. We'll see you there, Germ.
See ya.